It is 10:05 a.m. I'm hoping other people can join us. Rebecca, are you there? Can you hear us? I see your name. Well, we'll give it a try. Obviously, we cannot approve the minutes of April 20th, so that will be on the agenda for the June meeting. And the one thing I did want to mention in my report is that there is one vacant seat on the commission. If you know of someone who's interested, please forward that name to me. I would love to talk to the person. It would be wonderful to have a full commission.
Amy, do we know if it's a Democrat or Republican position?
It's a Republican.
Okay.
Yes.
And was that was that just due to someone's term expiring and
yes.
they did not? Okay.
Yes. Okay. With us this morning is Adrienne Billings-Smith, who I'm so happy to see. And she was on the West Hartford Human Rights Commission and is now on the new.
Yes, I just was appointed to the Civilian Police Review Board.
Okay. But she's here to talk about the Human Rights Commission and the Juneteenth celebration. So the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone. I won't keep you too long so we can get out and enjoy this day. But as far as the West Hartford Human Rights Commission, I was co-chair with Issam Barai. He's holding the chair position by himself right now. The previous chair was also Sarah Raskins. As a commission, our goal this year was to really delve into our mission and invite others from the community, from different, whether it be boards or commissions or individuals in our community, to come and speak about how their particular piece of the mission correlated with human rights. So we wanted to make sure that we were getting out into the community because we felt it was important that the community knew that they had a Human Rights Commission, that we had something that was fighting for equality and justice and equity, and people knew that they could bring certain issues to us that we would discuss as a commission to be there for the community. We also do things like every year we do the reading of the Human Rights Declaration, and we help host Pride or sponsor it, and different things around town where we can help any commissioner or any community member. I really enjoyed being on the commission. It's a great commission to be on. Very open, minded, what can I say? A variety of voices that all have the same goal for our community. So I really enjoyed being there and witnessing that for my period of time. Now I was just appointed to the Civilian Police Review Board, and I think we officially start in June. Is our official time. So I'm excited about that also. We did have a civilian review board prior to this one, but it was mainly can you guys see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. It was mainly made up of retired or current officers. So this is a true civilian review board made up of members of our community who want to make sure that our police officers are, living up to their mission and being held accountable and having that community relationship. So I'm very excited to be a part of that, and I'm very humbled to be a part of that. So in terms of the Juneteenth celebration, why I'm so excited to be here. Juneteenth is on June 19th. It was when the last individuals who were enslaved in Texas found out they were free from the Emancipation Proclamation that finally made it to Texas, Galveston. And it's been a celebration, gosh, I think since the 1860s. It happened in 1865, and it has kind of finally made its way across our nation, recognizing it as our second Independence Day. and acknowledging the fact that until that moment, not all people were free. Um, and there's more to the history aspect, but the Juneteenth celebration is based around community. That's been for my from the last year or so. That's been a huge push and mission of mine. Is to make sure everyone in our community is involved and we're celebrating one another for our differences and for our the sameness and really getting back together. And luckily, because of, we've done so well with COVID protocols and keeping safe and vaccinations, we will be holding it in person. So the first day on June 19th, we're actually doing 2 days. The first day on June 19th, we're going to do a town picnic where you can, bring your family out, bring your bring your chairs. We'll have live music and DJs, and we'll have student performers who will be singing and doing spoken word. We'll have a reenactment performance done by a local individual, T'Challa Williams. She's a graduate of the Artist Collective over in Hartford, majored in theater. So it'll be a lot of fun. Our keynote speaker will be Lorna Thomas Farquharson, who is on the Board of Education, along with her daughter, Juliana, who actually is a student at Sedgwick and started Students Against Racism at age 13. So we're really happy and want to see that generational an inspirational speech of them giving it together. We thought that would be a great way to kind of show the progress and development and the things that we're doing in town to celebrate everyone. And on June 20th, we will have a service at First Church West Hartford. I don't know how many people know, but the green that sits at Farmington in North Main, formerly Goodman Green, has been renamed Unity Green. And the First Church owns it, the town leases it, and there was an entire progress, and it was renamed. Timothy Goodman was a previous slave owner, and he deeded this huge piece of land, basically blueback area, to the town, to the congregation, for parades and celebrations. So they decided to change the name. The descendant, Dottie Goodman, I mean Dottie Stone, not Dottie Goodman, excuse me. She's at First Church still, where he actually attended, and she has helped lead the way in the name change. And so she'll be speaking that day, as well as myself. Mayor Cantor will be there speaking that day, and it'll be the official dedication to Unity Green. There'll be a service, some words spoken, a moment of silence, and for individuals who didn't have voices in our community, from Black to Indigenous. And there will also be a small refreshment portion afterward. So we're really excited about the weekend. We're really excited about celebrating one another, celebrating Black history. I think it'll be a great time. We have things planned from, kids to adults. There's educational pieces. We want to make it a well-rounded celebration so that we can continue on in the future.
Sounds
Good.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone have questions of Adrienne? Gail?
Oh, yeah, Adrienne. So Saturday starts at 10:30 with the witness notes at did you want to mention that? And the marching?
So yeah, Saturday, it's going to be a day because there's a lot of stuff going on. Thank you for bringing me back. So Saturday starts 10:30, Witness Stone's installation with Tracy Wilson. And then we will be led down to the town hall, and then we'll start our picnic ceremony. And after the picnic and getting together and dancing and playing around, we're going to move over to Blueback Square. There's pieces to this. We're going to move over to Blueback Square, where we're going to have the official unveiling of the Martin Luther King inspired mural that town resident and artist Corey Payne is doing. So it's going to be a beautiful mural with inspired by our pioneering Black women in our town. So it'll be a beautiful mural that Corey is creating. And actually, this weekend is May 22nd, correct?
Yes,
This weekend, May 22nd, is actually Community Day. So they'll be having a time for everyone in the community to come out and help start painting the mural. He's going to start designing it, and they're going to have things for kids to do. They're going to be able to take home their own art. They're going to help paint pieces of the mural. So it's an entire community day to start the painting process, or it's not really painting, spray painting process, because that's what he does, graffiti. So make sure you tell people, because I think everyone will like to be out there. It's supposed to be a nice weekend still, I think.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you're comfortable with, we would love to see as many people out there as safely and as possible, to again have this moment of community celebration. West Hartford has been such a great place since I've been here, and I'm just so excited to see us all together and celebrating one another, and starting to build these relationships over time.
I'm so excited to hear all the upbeat good news. It's very gratifying.
Yeah.
Is anything going to be on West Hartford Community Interactive TV or film, so that those who can't make it could see it?
Yes. So we're working with Rise Up, and they have an entire that's you. There's an entire production. So we're going to have things put out. So if you can't make it, there'll be a live streaming event. And what's going on is other murals are being introduced that day also, but they're going to go back and forth. So you're going to get to see things going on in Manchester and things going on in West. But we have the biggest event happening. So a lot of the day will be our event, from our performances to the music to the MLK mural happening. And they are in the process of trying to connect with WHCI, so we can see how we can have it on our local channel. But we will send out information in our press release once we get the actual website or the live stream, WHCI's involvement, so people know where to view it at.
That's great. Sheila, you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. First of all, Adrienne, thanks for coming today and talking to us about this. My question is, what is the essence of the holiday? Is it about celebrating freedom? Is it about that we should never forget this piece of our American history? That's the part that's just not clear to me.
I think that you've made it clear. Those are exactly what it's about. It's about celebrating freedom. It's about celebrating community. It's about not forgetting that we do have a mark as a nation that we need to continue to talk about and learn about these different experiences and lives and individuals who have contributed to the success of this land, and at the detriment of their own family and being taken away from their own continent and community. But recognizing that when you look at the flag, the Juneteenth flag is red, took on the colors of red, white, and blue. And it was to signify that at that point, Africans were also Americans, because they've now had generations of families that all they know was America. So to build that same community and foundation, that this flag represents that all of us are American at the end of the day. So I think that you're absolutely clear in everything you said, even though you don't think you were. It's about not forgetting that moment, but also being able to celebrate the progress we have made as a country. And there's still much more to do. We could talk about that all day, right? But celebrating this moment as a country where we realize that slavery was wrong and it needed to be ended, and there were things that needed to be done, and having that moment to like I said, we want to make sure that it's also educational for people who might not know exactly what Juneteenth is. I created a packet for the kids that they'll get. It'll have the history of Juneteenth. It'll have facts. It'll show them the flag, and they'll have coloring pieces. We've commissioned an artist to draw for an activity page. so that you're getting a little piece of everything. You're getting the celebration, you're getting the history, you're getting the knowledge. And I think that's more meaningful than just a, hey, everyone, let's party, not knowing what the holiday actually means. Thanks for that question.
Thank you. Anybody else have something to say? Okay. Well, Adrienne, I hope you can stay with us. I really appreciate your being here. It is so wonderful to hear the good things that are going, and I hope to be there in June with you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
hope so.
very much.
For having me. I really appreciate the time.
I do want to say that it looks like two other individuals have joined us. A telephone ending in 70, is that Ellen? Okay, and then there's Pamela and Charlie, and I believe that's Pamela Hilborn.
That's correct.
Okay. And the person with telephone ending in 70, is that Ellen Phillips?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. All right,
Okay.
our next report is Karen Paquette from West Hartford Social Services.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. I'm happy to announce that our staff is now full-time back in town hall every day, well, Monday through Friday. We're still taking precautions, and people are only allowed in town hall with an appointment, but it's, we're making progress, getting better. And even better news, we've filled our full-time and part-time positions with some excellent, very talented social workers who will be starting in June. So we're very relieved and looking forward to that. And something to keep your eyes on. Last year, there was a state mandate for all police departments to do a self-evaluation by January of this year in regards to biases and racism and mental health, kind of crises, things like that. And so as a result of that, there was a proposal to also hire a social worker to work directly with the police department, and that will be up for vote in front of the town council very soon. So we hope to be learning more about that in the near future, probably I'm told within the next month or so. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but it's something a lot more progress being made in that area, and we're very happy about that. In terms of opening up to, like, we're all kind of talking about that in all our different areas. The food pantry distribution is continuing curbside, but the volunteer programs are starting to resume slowly. Like other, as Gina mentioned, with all the volunteers, we do have to get clearance from our safety people. But I just got word actually this morning that the medical escort program was approved, and she's waiting for the friendly visitor and grocery shopping program to get approval. So we're starting to get things back on track, which is great. We have a lot of requests from people that want to volunteer, which is great news for our seniors. Dial-a-Ride set to renew July, so we've sent out all the applications have been sent out, and we've been getting them all back. If somebody wanted to join now, there is a prorated fee until July 1st. I think I had mentioned last time the Energy Assistance Program, the deadline was extended into mid-June this year because of the pandemic. So that's really good news, including oil and oil deliveries. So that's been very, very helpful. Again, if anybody has any questions about that, there's a lot going on, and a lot more support for people facing shutoffs or needing help with different payment plans and assistance programs. So, encourage people to call us if they have any questions about that. The renters rebate program started April 1st. We've gotten about 400 applications back, and the part-time person is going to be, in addition to other responsibilities, processing all those applications. So that'll be good. So far, the Choices program is working remotely still. I haven't received any more updates about that. And with the evictions, the moratorium right now is set for June 30th. It's not an automatic process. Some paperwork does have to be filled out if you want to avoid eviction. But there is a lot of funding for rental assistance, rental and utility assistance. And we, from social services, have collaborated with the libraries and to have a van. So the program that provides assistance for rent right now, it's called Unite CT. And they really want to make it accessible to people and make it as easy a process to apply as possible. So it's all online. So they have a van with 9 or 10 computers on it that you can request to come to your town for people to use if they don't have access to internet or Wi-Fi, things like that. So we have the van coming 3 times to West Hartford next month, the first time, and we'll start advertising very soon. We just found out yesterday that we were approved. So we're excited about that to try to help with the access to that program. So that's about it from social services. Any questions from anybody?
It continues to be good news there too. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Karen.
Thank you.
But did you say that the rental rebate is online or the rental assistance?
The rental assistance.
Okay.
The rental rebate is by mail.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes. And we've mailed out all those applications. If somebody's new, if they were not on the list from last year, just have them give us a call. We'll mail an application out.
Okay, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rebecca, are you with us? I see your name, but I don't know if you're there. I know you had an appointment earlier. Okay, I will ask again later because if she is there, then we do have a quorum and we would go back to the minutes. But meanwhile, let's continue. Sheila, the Seniors Job Bank.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I just have to let you all know I am at the tail end of a really wicked cold. So if I start coughing uncontrollably, maybe Gail, you could join. you could talk. Gail Crockett is a member of the Seniors Job Bank, and actually she's a board member, vice president, and she's going to be representing us from time to time. So I appreciate you standing by, Gail, there. So Seniors Job Bank, for those who don't know, is a nonprofit that helps people over the age of 50 find part-time work in West Hartford and the surrounding communities. So Hartford, Bloomfield, Avon, Newington, et cetera, et cetera. And we're pretty much up to pre-pandemic levels in terms of how many job openings and requests we're getting. So last month, April, we got over 100 requests. That's just about what we got in 2019. So we're really back in business. Not that we ever closed. And this is our season. This is our busy season. We're getting lots of requests for the gardening, landscaping. We get a lot of driver requests, and it always sort of baffles me because there's so many driving options out there. But I think as some of the social services options were, closed down, people really had nowhere else to go. And it was really nice that we were able to help senior citizens and provide that service. We also get a lot of requests for companions, which is, it's our sweet spot. We have over 180 job seekers signed up to do that. And I can't tell you how great it is to hear the stories from families when we've connected, two people who become friends, and it becomes such a nice relationship. And the job seeker, receives the full amount of pay. We're not a home healthcare agency. So it's sort of a win-win for everybody. So we continue to get those, and I hope to get more companion requests, to tell you the truth. Still getting the handyman stuff. But what you're reading in the papers about worker shortages, we're feeling the same bite. I'm seeing jobs for minimum wages that maybe a couple of years ago we'd have 4 or 5 candidates, and now people are not applying. And so for our population, I really suspect it's the fear of COVID and getting sick and getting their family sick. And that's just my gut. I certainly can't speak for our 400 job seekers, but we're absolutely feeling what you're reading about. So that's sort of where we are now. We do have some exciting things happening. Actually, tomorrow we start this program. We applied and we were selected for a program through the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, where we will be working with a consultant to help create a stream of revenue. And as you know, we are a free service. We don't charge job seekers, employers, but nothing is free. And so we have to pay for, we have to pay our bills like everybody else. And we usually count on foundations and individual contributions to do that. But I always think about, is there some way we can have some stream of revenue? I mean, most nonprofits do. So at least we're going to be looking into that. And that's courtesy of the Hartford Foundation, which we all know they're an amazing organization in the area. And that's going to be it runs through the summer, and maybe we'll come up with something and maybe we won't, but at least we've looked into it. So I'm very excited that's starting tomorrow. And the other thing that we've got going on, which is just about to be launched, is we're about to run into our fundraising season, where Jim Doran of the Dornum Foundation, many of you know him, he's offered a $10,000 challenge grant. And so we're going to be sending out letters probably in the next week, and to all of our contributors and all of the people who engage with us. And we're hoping people will contribute and match Jim's challenge grant. It is going to a very special fund. We're calling it the Get Back to Work Fund. And it's going to our operational needs, which is where we really always need money. So I hope you'll at least consider making a donation. And I don't know, I think that's all I've got, and my voice is held up. Gail, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think you've done an excellent job, and your voice sounds better than you think.
Thank you.
Gail, thank you, by the way, for volunteering to represent the Seniors Job Bank, because there are definitely going to be times where I could use your help. And Gail is such an excellent spokesperson for us. I don't know if you all know that she just did a Facebook live event with Ronnie Saunders at Power Music. So I don't know. Gail, do you want to plug that for a second?
Well, I'm sort of shy. Yeah, it was interview that was requested so that people who are outside of West Hartford.
Wait, we can't hear you.
You're
breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know why.
Are you on your cell phone? You're in and out.
On my iPad.
You're in and out.
Oh.
All right. If anybody wants to check it out, we'll have a link on the Senior Job Bank Facebook page, and you can go to music. It's MUZIC. Power Music, but MUZIC. And Gail did a great job as usual. So
That sounds great. I do have a question or a comment, Sheila. I've noticed on Facebook that there have been a lot of requests recently for people seeking companions and or drivers. And I'm wondering if it's something you might want to feature on your postings that I see periodically from the Seniors Job Bank, that these can be filled through you. Because I find myself responding to these requests and trying to give people information, but I think it would be nice if they could search on Facebook and Seniors Job Bank would pop up when they're searching for companions and or drivers.
So you're saying people are searching on Facebook for companions?
They'll make a personal post saying, my mother needs a companion. She needs a driver. I need a driver to go for whatever. And when I see these, I try to answer. But it would be really nice to see if people do search for companions on Facebook, West Hartford, that the Seniors Job Bank would pop up.
Talking about like a Facebook group, like My Friends and Neighbors or that thing, and that's where you're seeing these requests?
That's where I'm seeing them.
Okay, so
Neighbors and friends in West Hartford neighborhood chat. There are a couple of different.
I don't know how to do that with Facebook, but we have a marketing intern who I can talk to and give her that suggestion. We try to attract people to our website, and we try to, we use keywords and companions and what have you. But unless you got big bucks, doing it organically is a very long process. And so we actually are currently having our next blog article is going to be about companions, which will have more. Yeah.
You can certainly get your marketing person to ask to join those at least 2 groups on Facebook.
So I actually think she did, but I think anyway, it's a great suggestion, and I don't want to take anyone's time, but I'll talk to the intern and we'll see what we can do. No, thank you, Amy.
Yeah. One of the things, I don't know if you can do what you asked, but when you have a group, if you were to make a comment, write down about the Senior Job Bank, on the group, there's usually a spot where if you want to look for a topic, you can do that. But a lot of people are not sophisticated enough to know that. So it's like a catch-22. But at least if you had, once in a while, you posted there, just to let you know, Senior Job Bank has your companions and whatever, then if somebody searched for a message or a post regarding companions, then that might pop up. But it wouldn't in a search for general Facebook.
Thank you for explaining that. No, because I live in Avon, so when I see the post in Avon, I respond back myself and I write, "Oh, hope you'll consider the Seniors Job Bank. We have great companions or pet sitters or whatever." But I think, don't you have to be a resident?
No.
You don't have to be a resident. Okay, perfect.
You can join as an individual. All you have to do is ask.
Okay, thank you for that suggestion, and thank you, Maria.
That's great. Anybody else? All right. I guess it's transportation for seniors. Kevin is not with us, but he did email me this morning to say the following, that there is an increase in ride volumes. They're adding returning and new drivers as we speak. They're at 60% of the pre-pandemic volumes, and about two-thirds of the 2019 status. And he seems to get the impression that people are feeling better these days about getting out. And I think as the state mandates change, I think we will certainly see an increase there. And I see Rebecca's with us. Yay! So before we go on to the senior centers, we actually can review and approve the minutes of April 20th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? All right, they will stand approved as presented. Thank you again, Anne, for always doing such a great job with the minutes. Really appreciate it. All right, Gina, you're up.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Just wanted to give you an idea. The vaccine hotline is still up and running, but it is totally manned by library staff. The 2 part-time senior center positions have phased out because the call volume has gone down, which is what we expected. One of the part-timers that we're working for there is our fitness person, Catherine. And our fitness centers have been up and running since May 3rd. It was one of the first things we brought back in person. It is only 4 people at a time by appointment, 45 minutes. Gail's smiling because she comes to our fitness center. And that seems to be working fine. I know our members would like to be in there longer and more frequently, but we've only been open for a few weeks, so we're going to hold on to this schedule probably for the month of June as well. As I had said in the past, we had a tent outside the Elmwood and the West Hartford Senior Centers.
Yep.
This was from April 12th to May 7th, and this was due to a grant we received from the CARE Act funding, which paid for the tents. We were able to do some last-minute programming in both tents, which allowed seniors to come to the senior center in person in a safe environment. Because the weather was so windy, cold, and rainy, many of the programs did come into the building. So it was our first attempt at bringing people back into the building. Anyone who comes in is checked, their temperature is checked, and they need to wear a mask, but it worked out pretty well. So much so that we have the following in-person programs. We're doing Spanish. It's a conversational group. And we're also having knitting that comes in once a week. Both senior centers have coffee a few mornings a week. Today is the first day for table tennis at Elmwood. And we've been doing outdoor pickleball from the beginning of May. CRT is continuing to do their grab and go meals, 5 meals on a Thursday at noon. And that will stay that way for the whole summer. I do not think Community Renewal Team will go back into any building probably until the fall. So most senior centers are in the same situation. We are focusing the summer at Elmwood to be open Tuesdays and Thursdays. Elmwood Community Center is the prime location for camps, summer camps for kids in the town. So there's very little space afforded to us in the summertime. And this year, even more so because all their camps have wait lists across the town. I think parents are very anxious to get their children out and with other kids and having recreational opportunities. So we will have staff there in the office Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we have a full schedule of activities that will be going on. The full-time rec specialist position, the interviews were held. There are 3 final candidates, and they will be interviewed within the next week or so. So I'm hoping that full-time position will be put into place middle of June is what I'm hoping, and that will give us a little more flexibility to have someone in the building on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We did a survey via Constant Contact just to see how people were feeling. Would they want to come back? Do they want to continue virtually? Do they want hybrid programs? And we got a mix of responses. So that's what we're doing. Our summer bulletin is at the printer right now. And it has a variety of virtual programs, in-person, and hybrid.
Oh, nice.
A lot dependent on what the instructor felt comfortable with. So we've been able to hopefully accommodate everybody and a little bit of everything. One of the pushes for this summer was to do outdoor activities. As you know, or maybe you don't remember, we are doing an outdoor line dancing class at Westmore Park in their outdoor classroom, which people have loved, and thankful for Doug for allowing us to come out. But we put together an intro to several different sports. So now people can sign up for a mini intro golf, pickleball, table tennis. We're doing fishing, lawn bowling. So we tried to get a nice variety of outdoor sports for people to try to encourage people to go outside. Our walking group has been phenomenal. They walk every Monday if the weather is nice, and we get anywhere between 20 to 30 people. And I believe there's 100 people on the email list that we send out notices to. So that's been very popular. With our bulletin, normally it only gets mailed out to members. We've been renewing our membership, but with COVID, we have quite a few people who have not renewed because they still don't feel comfortable coming back to the senior centers. So we made the decision to continue to snail mail the bulletin to last year's members and this year's members.
Good.
I felt that it was a well worth expenditure to keep people connected, especially the people that aren't on the computer and that don't have internet access. So everyone who was a member last year, even if they haven't renewed, will get a copy of the summer bulletin.
Good.
Yeah, I thought that was a good thing to do. We are taking temperatures and requiring masks for entry into the building. Our signage says by appointment only, but we have the doors unlocked. People are coming in if they want to renew, if they want to sign up for something. I'm not sure how much longer we really need to take temperatures. I haven't gotten an answer on that, but most facilities are not taking temperatures, so I'm hoping to phase that part out. We will continue for masks. I think we will. We haven't gotten any directive not to, to discontinue mask wearing. We have one of our favorite events is tomorrow. One of our members, May Young, as a matter of fact, came up with this idea probably 5 years ago. She said to me, we have a lot of older members. Why don't we have a birthday party for them?
Oh, yeah.
So we have a program called Cheers to 90 plus years. 250 members received invitations to attend a birthday party for anyone over 90. Normally, it's in the West Hartford Senior Center with a catered lunch. Well, we are now having it outside at the Elmwood Senior Center by the gazebo. It's a box lunch that they will either eat in their car or they can take it out on the lawn with a lawn chair. And we have a band. So we're doing that tomorrow, and we have good weather, so I'm happy about that and very excited. We have nearly 100 people signed up for it. And they're allowed to bring one guest free. So the whole event is free, courtesy of sponsors that we were able to secure, business sponsors. So that worked out very nice. And then the following week, we have another program called Russia. And I have a gentleman who is doing a program called Myths, Mysteries, and Spying. We have 100 people signed up for that, and it's with a box lunch, which is also being sponsored. So the seniors love the grab and goes, which have been mostly food related, followed by a virtual program, as well as our take and create. We have 3 more take and creates for the summer. It's an art project. They get all the materials and directions on how to do it, and then they bring it home and do it in the safety of their home. So we're kind of easing our way back into in-person, but continuing all the popular grab and goes and take and creates. Everything's been pretty much free with the exception of some of our classes. This summer, we will be charging for our paint party. We've been doing it free for the last year and a half. And we will put a small fee onto that just to help the expenses on it are a bit high. I do have a sponsor, but I don't feel I should be paying for a program that seniors can pay for if they're really interested. We had 60 people sign up for the paint party last time, but only 30 came on to the virtual program to learn how to paint the actual painting.
Oh.
So that was an indication to me it would be very difficult to do the painting without attending the virtual to get the instruction. So that's why we're doing that one for a fee, to kind of minimize people that are just taking it to take it and not going through with the whole program.
Good idea.
Well, we don't want to exclude anybody, but we also don't want to be taken advantage of.
Right.
If you want to do the paint party, $10 for all that is not too much. Plus refreshments are going to go with it. So, and the paint party for this summer will be hybrid. So some people will be able to come in and others can do it from home and they can pick up the grab and go. We're thinking on our feet and hopefully accommodating everybody, but we're always open to suggestions. The fall will be another totally different animal. We're hoping to bring back our dancing, music and dancing, which people love, and mahjong, card playing, Scrabble. Those are all the things that people, especially in the West Hartford Senior Center, were interested in. We will be showing one movie in our large room this summer. Both senior centers typically had a weekly movie. And that's another thing, believe it or not, that we've been getting a lot of calls about. People miss the movie. So we're doing one movie this summer, seeing how that works out. I am hoping by fall that we will be almost back to pre-COVID programming, but we'll have to play it by ear.
Gina, I actually have a couple of questions for you. People have been asking when this commission can come back and meet in person. Can you tell us when that might be possible?
Definitely for the fall. If you really want to meet in June, we can find space to meet in person for June.
I think it would be wonderful if we could. Is it easier to do it at the West Hartford Senior Center?
Yes, it would be easier. There's more space. That meeting in June, what's the date on it?
It is June 15th.
15th. Camps will not be up and going by the 15th, but I still have more control over here. So I would prefer here, and we can take a large room. And if you'd like to do
the parking is actually better.
Yeah.
At Bishop's Corner. So okay. I will send a notice out to the commission members and others on the email today or tomorrow that we will be meeting at the West Hartford Senior Center together on June 15th. And thank you so much. That's really good news. And we'll go from there. And the other question I have is, I live in a condo community, and I don't believe that all my neighbors are senior center members. Is there any way of getting more copies of the bulletins to put 3 or 4 in every lobby in our buildings?
Yes, we already have a list of probably about 15 different locations that a staff member brings bundles of bulletins. We get these printed free of charge. So we always ask for more and have them at town hall in different locations. So with COVID, we've had a few left over because people haven't been coming to pick them up. Just let me know where and we will drop some off to you. And the bulletin is at the printer now. It should be out by the 1st of June.
I will let you know. There are 4 buildings in my community, plus other villas. I can't deliver them to the villas, but I could certainly get 2 or 3 to each building. So I will email you about that.
Okay. Yep. And we might be able to deliver bundles to each building.
You can't get into all the
Okay. Where do you live?
I live at the reservoir, literally across from the reservoir.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a good opportunity for us. Thank you, Amy.
Good. Adrienne, you had a question?
Are the bulletins also emailed out? Do you guys have an email list that you?
Yes. If we have a constant contact list that we send the bulletin out to, as well as a service provider list. So we email them out to about 500 different service providers. It's also will be put on the town website.
Okay.
But Adrienne, if you wanted particularly to get the bulletin by email, just let Gina know.
Okay, because I'd like to put it up on my personal, like, my organization's Facebook page and it's something that other commissions, I'm sure, like the Human Rights Commission, they like to make sure that everyone's being, all their stuff.
That would be good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have questions for Gina? Thank you again, Gina, for a very fulsome report. I really appreciate it. We're number 9 on the agenda. Is there any new business from commission members or from others who are with us? Okay. And I would love to hear some suggestions for future meetings. We do have Senator Derek Slapp coming with us for our June meeting, and now I have to tell him it's in person. Although, if he can't get there in person, is there any way in the senior center for him to be on conference call?
Yes.
I believe so. I know we could do it with a Zoom. I'm not sure with this system. I'll have to check. I'm sure we should be able to do it somehow. Lisa's my IT girl, so I'll ask Lisa about it.
That would be
Probably
great.
Andrea. I'll have to talk to Andrea too.
Yeah, because I will need to let him know that
Okay.
we're going to be meeting in person. I know he had a meeting earlier in the morning, so it may be very difficult for him to get to us, but it would be wonderful to hear from him before we close out for summer. But anyhow, future meetings starting in September, I'd love to hear some suggestions. Do we want to hear from other commissions in the town? Or do we want to circle back to the police department or the fire department? Is that important right now? What else do we want to consider for the fall? Karen, you were shaking your head. You're thinking. Gail?
I think it would be important to have the fire department come in the fall because, that's a good time to remind people about safety measures they take in their home, whether it's a house or apartment, things in their house. It's also a time when people.
Okay, I'll put that down. Thank you.
Giving people ideas about keeping passageways safe, making sure their smoke alarms have the right batteries. So I think it would be a great time, sort of like, after vacation, after Labor Day, to have them come.
I will reach out to them. Thank you. Anyone else right now? Rebecca? You're muted. Rebecca, you're on mute.
All right. Oh, so I don't know if there's any programs for seniors in relation to not just learning how to use the computers, but how to keep themselves safe. I just went through a scenario in the last week and a half where I was hacked and they took over my personal email. And what I've been through, it was heinous. It was horrible. And like I didn't realize how vulnerable everybody is. They don't even you don't even realize all the things that are happening behind the scenes with your passwords, with syncing screens between devices, with automatic saves of stuff. And I mean, I like, luckily I was savvy enough to stop it, but I now realize that seniors, they have no idea.
Right. Right.
And I was even shocked. I went to Bar Taco for the first time since COVID, and you had to pay with a credit card through a third-party company. I couldn't pay cash. I wanted to pay cash, and it wasn't even an option.
Right.
And I'm worried for people out there.
I know that the AARP has multiple programs, and we've actually had them with us in the past. So I will reach out again because they are really working sincerely and industriously on safety for seniors on the computer, charge cards, and all of that. So thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Pamela, we see your face. Is there
Great.
something you want to share? Okay, you're muted.
I'm glad to be with you all. I didn't have anything to share today other than thanks again to the community for supporting the planters, and Elmwood had the most wonderful cleanup day on Saturday with about over 40 people showing up. So,
I need to ask you, because I don't recall, did we ever have for the commission a program on end of life planning? We had talked about that once. Did that ever happen?
I don't think we did. I mean, I wasn't not at every single meeting, but I don't know if you did that or not.
Karen, do you remember maybe?
I don't think we ever did.
Would that be something we would want to consider?
Yes.
Okay. Pamela, with your resources, would you look into that?
Yes, I will. And what would it just be? Maybe a 10-minute presentation or question and
We
answers?
usually go 20.
20? Okay.
And then questions and answers from all aspects, from the legal as well as other kinds of things. I think that would be very interesting.
Maybe I can coordinate with you, Rebecca, and we can put together something like we used to do.
That would be perfect. Rebecca's our resident attorney.
We would also be interested in doing, that's one of the things I was going to do in the fall for the seniors. So maybe I can piggyback on that and maybe we can do something. I talked with David over at Sheehan's and he was possibly going to do something on funeral prep. So I wanted to do a whole series on different things and
Right.
type of things. Okay.
You
Smart.
could kick it off with the commission and then you could follow at the senior centers with your plans, events. I think that's great.
So that would be in the fall?
Yes.
Hi.
Rebecca, thank you.
Hi, this is Noreen Bachteller, a commission member. I've brought up before an issue of seniors and disabled people, but specifically seniors being able to get the non-driver ID. That the first one requires an in-person visit to a state DMV office, and it looks like that is a requirement, and they cannot go through AAA for that, and it's a real hardship for a lot of seniors disabled to go to DMV, and I would think the state of Connecticut, would want to look to, find a better way to serve it. I don't know if they have a mobile van that could accommodate, but I think that's a concern that a lot of seniors, their driver's license have expired, but they need to have an ID, and to go over to a DMV office for a lot of reasons is a hardship, and I don't know if we want to bring that to, I did talk to one of the legislators when they were with us before, but not formally, but that is something that personally for a family member, and I know others, might be something we could find out what the law is, which I think I know what the law is, and what possible options to address this in a better way for seniors.
Well, it's certainly an issue that we can bring up with Senator Slapp when he's with us in June.
We have a program this summer called Care Cards with the police department. And according to the information I received, this can be used for identification purposes. So we will have an officer at the West Hartford Senior Center on July 19th at 10 and at the Elmwood Senior Center on July 22nd at 10 a.m. It's in the summer bulletin. So I'm hoping this may solve your problem, Noreen.
Let's have a discussion with Senator Slapp, and Gina, make sure to mention that when we do, please.
Yep.
Noreen, anything else?
No, I think that could satisfy some of the requirements, but it doesn't address, like, you can't use that, I believe, to travel, like, you know, I think it has its limitations, but I'd like to hear more about the care cards, and maybe we can have another discussion about the care cards, what that would cover for identification and purpose.
That sounds good. Sheila, you had your hand up?
Yeah, so I'd read in weha.com about the Republican leadership resigning and creating a new political party. And so I don't know if that's of interest to this commission, if you want to have a representative in the fall or late fall speak about the new party and what's going on.
I think that would be very interesting. Yes. I noticed that in the paper too, and I thought, I read a lot, but I'd like to know more. Great idea. Anyone else? Well, this is, I think, one of the shortest meetings we've ever had, but it's been very full and very interesting. I appreciate all your suggestions. I am looking forward to seeing everybody in person in June. And Gina will tell us what measures we need to take when we come into the building to be safe. And I will make sure that's in the email. And look for her constant comment postings about the June meeting. And I will get the agenda out to all of you when we know what's doing.
Great.
So is there a move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn. This is Noreen Bachteller.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rebecca. We are adjourned at 11:07 a.m.
See everybody in person in June. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Everyone.
Thank you all.